So this is why we're doing all of these rotations. How we always work the wrist, all these cranes that we do. This is all to prepare and condition the wrist, right, for these hands down postures. There's a lot of hands down postures. Plank is just one of the very first ones that we have to cultivate to get our strength and our alignment dialed in. So, like after the plank gets mastered, you know, we start doing handstand. That is a possibility where the wrist is bearing the entire weight of the body. There's other ones to push up into a back bend, which is also very risky. So just know that the discomfort that you're experiencing, it's like a milestone in your practice. So it's all part of the path. Don't be alarmed, and it will pass. Okay? You know, and there's bound to be speed bumps in the practice. It's just like, didn't I say this just a couple weeks ago? Like any good relationship, like the best relationship you have. Go ahead, tap your sternum. You know, your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife or your husband. If it's a real relationship, there's going to be some speed bumps. You know, it's not going to be just all tra-la-la all the time. And that shows that you're really working it. You know, you're really having the relationship. So it's the same with your body and your yoga practice. You know, I get little things come up, little pains. I get little wrist tweaks, knee tweaks, lower back things, but I just don't obsess on it. I think positive. I think that this is just something that I'm working through, and it always does. It always passes. But I do think the positive self-talk is a big part of it too. You know, in our culture, we tend to catastrophize a little bit. So one hand on the navel, the other above and below the lips, and rubbing these points. And hold. And then let's just tap this heart 9. This is called Spirit Gate. This is one of the points that I showed you. So let's just, using the two wrists, just tap this two outer wrists together on the pinky side. And then switch it so the other one's on top. And then these two are actually called the inner and outer gate. So it's triple warmer 5 and pericardium 4. One's on the inner arm and one's on the outer. And so, you know, it's just as if you're squeezing between those two bones, the radius and the ulna. So just begin to massage those points. And then go ahead and go on the other side. And then around the bracelets, so just squeeze, use your fingers, just squeeze right underneath the pinky and the thumb, and then just turn your hand. Yeah. Yeah, just the fingers, Robert. Yeah. Yeah. And then other side. And these moves, this is going to clear the energy of your entire wrist. If you do this, if you do the rotations, and then when you do work your hands down poses, you have the proper alignment, you're not going to have wrist pain. Just shake that out. And then rolling the hands. Flowing lotus. And and going the other way. Great. Okay, hands on the hips and ear from shoulder to shoulder. If you sense into your wrist, you already can probably feel a really nice flow through your wrists. So you can have your hands in a neutral position. So yeah, you know, since you brought up this wrist thing, it was actually on one of my trips to India. This was a long time ago, many years ago. But I was in a yoga course. Go ahead, switch. And it was a very intense, it was a lot of the Surya Namaskar, you know, the Chaturanga push-up things. There's a lot of wristy stuff. And I started getting wrist pain, you know. And I had paid for this, it was like a month-long course. And it was just like every day. So what am I going to do, right? So what happened is I was in this bookshop, and it was one of those instances where a book literally fell off the shelf, right? Have you ever had that happen? Book falls off the shelf.
Yeah.
Fell off the shelf at my feet. I picked it up. It was a book on pranic healing and crystal healing. And this guy was literally showing how to clear your meridians working off the body with a crystal. So I did it, and guess what? It totally worked. I was able to finish the whole course. And I'm telling you, let's bring this up, I've used that technique ever since. This was actually 2001 when this happened. Because, you know, I was a massage therapist. So like everything I did was wristy, you know. Let's go ahead and lie down. So we're going to lie down. So if it comes to it, Muktabai, and you want to learn the technique, I'll show you how to do it. But you're going to need a large crystal. You know, and just the fact, again, the last thing I'll mention about this, the fact that it did activate something in your wrist shows that you were working, you know, beyond your normal comfort zone. You know, and this is all part of the process.